Our top focus at this hour, girls from minority communities are regularly targeted in Pakistan. They are abducted and forcibly converted to Islam and married to their abductors. The crime has only increased during the coronavirus-induced lockdown when girls are out of school and more vulnerable. Bride traffickers are more active on the internet and families are more in debt. Meet 15-year-old Neha. She was forcibly converted to Islam and married to a 45-year-old man with children twice her age. For days, she endured rape before escaping from her husband. Abandoned by her family, she now lives at a church.
मेरे भाई को भी मुझसे छीन लिया और मुझे कमरे में बंद कर दिया और फिर बाद में वो आदमी आया, उसने मेरे साथ ज़बरदस्ती की और फिर जब मैंने शोर किया और मेरे भाई को मारा भी और फिर मुझे कहा कि फिर मुझे दूसरे दिन कहा अगर तुम हमारे साथ कोर्ट नहीं गई तो हम तुम्हारे भाई को 7 मंजिला बिल्डिंग से नीचे फेंक देंगे.
According to rights activists, more than 1,000 girls from minor Hindu, Christian and Sikh communities are forcibly converted to Islam every year in Pakistan. Their abductors often fudge the age of the girls in court documents to show that they legally consented to the marriage. The age of consent for marriage in Pakistan is 18.
Should take the responsibility to collect the data because which is badly missing. When we estimated that around 1,000 conversions of the minorities, girls and women take place in a year.
Rights groups say that economic crisis during the coronavirus has also led to an increase in forced conversions. This as girls are taken by powerful landlords as payment for outstanding debts owed by their parents, and the police often look the other way. Activists also say that the practice thrives unchecked on a money-making web, which involves Islamic clerics who solemnize these marriages and magistrates who legalize the unions, as well as corrupt local police who aid the culprits by refusing to investigate the same.
The very beginning of conversion through the act of child marriage, then to try seeking protection from court by misrepresenting, all these people are seen to be repeatedly being casted in different incidents. It's the same caste which is always engaged. So it gives us the impression that a mafia is at work.
For more details on this news development, senior journalist Ahmed Shaheen joins us live from Karachi. Thanks so much for joining us. Some very disturbing reports coming from Pakistan about girls from minority communities being abducted and forcibly converted to Islam and married to their abductors. Tell us more about this.
This has been coming out since quite a while now, and the only thing that in the end saves some of these girls is the fact that they are well below the age of consent,
right.
Well below 18, and usually at the end of the whole thing, that is what happens, that there's a medical examination that takes place, and in that medical examination it is proven that the woman, the girl, was not a woman, it was a child, it was underage, and hence the so-called marriage is nullified. However, there is a serious lack of action taken against the religious clerics and the Maulanas and the police and the magistrates on lower level who allow this to happen till a senior court actually goes for a medical examination. No one is taken against them. The only actions that we've seen so far is, for example, the government announced a special center to take care of these matters. And the most worrying part of that special center being set up was that, and I quote that council saying, special coordination center has been established to address issues of minorities. No one will be allowed to make panic in the country on the issues of forced conversions and underage marriages. So their issue is still with people, the human rights activists, social activists of Pakistan, who create hue and cry over the fact that girls from minority sects and minority religions are forced to be converted to Islam and then forced grandfathers.
Right.
So the concern of the state is to address the people shouting against the injustice and not the prevention of injustice itself.
That is sad indeed. Now, reports suggest that the nature of the crimes has only increased during the coronavirus-induced lockdowns, of course, when girls are out of school and more vulnerable to such crimes. So what is the Pakistan government doing to change this?
As I said, I mean, they're setting up this commission, but it's an impractical commission based on the Ulama Council. The Pakistan Ulama Council has always come out, with a lot of regressive ideologies against, especially against women. And if the very same people who are responsible for regressive thought process of the society are given this task of putting a check and balance on, remember, Pakistan's only, when it comes to religion or extremist religion, Pakistan's only issue is not the underage marriage of girls, it's also the misuse of blasphemy law.
Right.
And the same people are also responsible for putting a check and balance. The same people who are using the blasphemy law to propagate hate are the very same people who are also asked to put a check and balance on the misuse. And the same council that's been set up by the government again is going to address the human rights activists hue and cry and not the issue itself. And I am not saying it, it's them saying it. The purpose of these councils being set up by the government is to stop human rights activists being able to talk about it rather than punishing the police, punishing the criminal elements, and punishing even the judicial elements that allow this to become a legalized thing. We have seen in recent cases, we have seen that it was the parents who were begging the police, begging the judicial system to let them even speak to their underage children so that they can at least, because the statements that police gets initially from these victims, these, underage girls who are often raped because they are not even able to legalize, the consent. And it's the parents who are not even allowed to meet their children until and unless the case becomes famous, and then people, not because it's a wrong thing, but because it becomes, defamatory for the country or for institutions, that's when people act. It is not because it is wrong, it is because human rights activists create an environment which they don't like. And that is the only time these issues are addressed, but not addressed in a way to prevent it from happening again, addressed to silence and satisfy those shouting in favor of that child who's been forcefully married and obviously raped afterwards.
Right, it is a sad state of affairs indeed. Thank you so much for joining us on this broadcast, and thank you for all your insights. WION World is One is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.